Oregon, and on YouTube. Fantasy football with the Dork and the Dude.
I'm the Dude.
And I'm the Dork. Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, we've been gone for about a month. Took
About
a little
month,
break.
Took a break. It was nice.
Yeah, it was.
And
but now things are getting interesting.
Free agency started, and here we are to break it all down for you. So what we're going to do today is just go over some players who have changed teams or situations and let you know what we think.
That's it.
I know it's still a good, 5 months away from most fantasy drafts, but if you think live, eat, and breathe fantasy, you know.
Hey, the hardcore people, they draft right after the NFL draft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're doing it like in May.
Oh, okay.
But those are the guys who end up with like 30 teams.
Oh, okay. Oh, those guys. Yeah.
Those guys.
30 teams and a lot of divorces.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, most of them are living in their parents' basement.
Right. I miss my parents' basement when I think about it.
It's a safe place.
It's a safe place. You got it. Okay, dude. Let's start with quarterbacks.
You got it.
The big one. Kirk Cousins to Atlanta. What's your take?
I thought the big one was Russell Wilson of the Steelers, myself.
Okay.
But let's see, Kirk Cousins, yeah. Well, he seems to be recovering well from his Achilles.
Yeah.
So you would assume he'd be ready for week one.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hell of a quarterback. I've always liked him. Might be the missing piece for Atlanta. It'll at least put him in a wild card or winning the division.
Yeah, they are.
I'm worried about them winning the division because Tampa Bay's a better team.
I don't know. I think this is exactly what they needed. They did spend a lot of money, but that's a quarterback market.
That's it. You don't care about the money. If you don't have a quarterback, you spend.
Yeah, and the offense is in place for him to thrive.
It is.
They even picked up and probably overpaid for Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore, but to be, second and third receivers.
Overpaid for both of them. But
they
got more by at least trading a player.
Okay. But they got, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson in place. They got Tyler Algier as a solid.
It's Algier.
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 Yeah. As their solid second running back. They just needed a good quarterback, and they got one who's arguably top 10.
Yeah, they do.
So if everyone's healthy, and it should be a grand slam.
So what do you think about his fantasy outlook?
I think it's pretty good.
Like what? Top
10, 15.
Okay.
In deeper leagues, he's going to start. In our 8-team league, he's probably
a backup,
a top reserve.
Sure.
But he could go off. Now, my concerns. One is he's getting on in years.
Yes.
But
was he 34?
I want to say 36, but 35 maybe.
Okay.
He's an old guy though.
Oh, I know, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, and
but he doesn't get hurt much. He plays damn near every game.
Those guys go downhill. I'm worried about him coming off the Achilles.
Sure.
That might take a while to adjust to. And I'm worried about the new coach, Raheem Morris.
Defensive guy.
21 and 38 lifetime record in 3.5 years. And one of those was as interim with the Falcons.
Right.
But
I always liked him.
I like him too, but
the players play for him.
They will. So we'll see. But his record hasn't been great.
The guys you're replacing, the players hated.
Oh, Arthur Smith?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't impressed by him as a head guy.
Yeah, no, when part of the reason you usually get fired as a coach is that the team and half the staff hate you.
Okay. Well, that was certainly the case with him. But we both think this is a good move.
It's a good move, yeah.
And I think
I was hoping Atlanta would get Fields because they're a younger team, and in the long run, that would be the way to go. Throw them out there, let them play a first year, learn the personnel and the system, and then just pick up that fifth-year option and run with it. But they chose otherwise.
It's a winnable division, though, and prime Kirk Cousins wins them that division.
Yeah, he does.
And I don't think it's very close.
No, it's a great move.
Okay, let's go to Pittsburgh next. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields,
I love it.
and they hardly gave up anything for either of them, not in salary or draft capital.
1.2 million to Russell Wilson. Denver's paying the other 39 million.
Yep.
And Justin Fields still on his rookie contract. I think he's making 3.2 million this year.
Is that it? Okay, I know it wasn't much because he was the 11th pick in the draft.
Yeah, I mean backups are getting paid 3-4 million.
But they're another team, good team, bad quarterbacks.
Yep.
I mean Pickett, Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph.
Yep.
You're not going to win a lot with those guys.
They haven't had a good quarterback since Big Ben.
Since Big Ben hit the road, yeah. And
I love the move. Good defense. Tomlin's a hell of a coach. He's one of the top 5 coaches in the fucking league.
Yeah.
This is probably the situation that'll work out best for Fields. In fact, he wanted to go there, and Chicago had better compensation from 2 other teams apparently, and they turned it down.
They took care of him, and that's
And he went where he wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's smart.
So
Russell Wilson, the most Steelers could get out would be 2 years probably.
Yeah. But
and he learns from him. And
so who do you think starts this year? Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomlin's already said that.
Okay. I mean, do you think there's a chance Fields wows him in training camp? And
he might, but he's still a guy. You're going into his 4th year, learning a new system in a new town with a new team.
Now, is that where
Russell Wilson can adapt faster than Fields is going to?
Yeah. Is that did Arthur Smith go there as the OC?
He did. That's the only
Okay.
thing that worries me.
Okay.
Maybe he's a better OC than a head coach, and
He was, and I
I don't know what it is with Tomlin.
In Tennessee,
he gets these guys like Smith or Canada last year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
But in Tennessee, it was we're gonna hook up King Henry.
Right.
When Arthur Smith was there.
Yep.
That didn't take a lot of thought.
Sure. And their passing game in Tennessee those years were shit.
Yeah.
You got Tannehill going out there throwing for 2,700 yards a year. That's not how you win in the NFL.
No.
That's what worries me about Pittsburgh.
So
one thing that I do like about the move is this. Pittsburgh was top 5 in defense, giving up 19 points a game last year.
Okay.
If Wilson can, and they get players in the draft, they picked up free agents already, can elevate them to score 23 a game, they can win 11, 12 games.
Yeah. Well, also, he's going to be, he was a hell of a quarterback in Seattle.
Yeah, he was.
But it was also a run-first team.
He had a good year last year, 28 touchdowns and what, 8 interceptions or something?
I think that's right. And he was solid last year.
Yeah, he was, in spite of the fact that his coach hated him and wanted him to fail.
Yeah.
Just a little aside, can we do this?
Yeah.
When Russ left Seattle, I kind of thought, like a lot of people, the dude went Hollywood. He was an egomaniac, weird dude, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But following him his whole career, I knew that deep down inside there was a likable dude in there.
Yeah.
Well, when I don't know if you remember or not, but when Russell Wilson went public about the fact that they wanted him to cut out his injury part of his contract, or they were going to bench his ass, he became someone you could identify with that had been fucked over.
Yep.
And he was like a humble, classy dude.
Yeah.
In the face of the gutter snipe.
Yeah.
And I just like that. And so I'm back on Russell Wilson.
You're what was that line in the commercial? That's Russell Wilson's bird.
That's it.
You're back there. Okay.
I'm back there, and I grabbed him to win the Super Bowl at 75-1 I'm all over the Steelers this
They're
year.
down to 50 now, so
Yeah, they
got them
are.
at a good price.
They'll be 40 before the season starts.
Fantasy-wise, if Fields does become the starter, I think he's good because of his running ability.
Sure.
Wilson, I do not think will be a good fantasy guy
He
in
never has
Pittsburgh.
been.
Yeah. Oh, he's had some years, but
I think like in our league scoring, probably the best year Russell Wilson ever had in his career was maybe 5.
fifth eyes
Yeah.
could be.
And so, and he doesn't care about stats.
No.
He wants to win.
No, so I love that one. Any other quarterback?
Yeah, these are a few lesser ones, but we could talk about the situations. But real quick, Minshew to Vegas.
I like that.
I actually do too. I think they can survive with them.
I've
and if
always
they-
liked Minshew. He's kind of limited in
Yeah.
what he can do, but the guy's gutsy. He's got moxie.
Yeah, he does, and he's a good usable quarterback.
Yeah, he
now,
is.
I think it's very possible they draft one, to be the guy, maybe Penix, but we shall see.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of Mel Kiper's got, no, I think it was Jeremiah's got Penix going to
Yeah.
the Raiders.
Yeah, but no one knows now.
No.
No one. I mean, if they're targeting a quarterback, eventually they may have to move up.
And I see some people moving up, so
Yeah.
depending on how all that works out.
Okay. Any more?
Sam Darnold to Minnesota.
I kind of like that. I mean, he's serviceable. 1 year, $10 million, cheap deal for Minnesota.
I see them drafting a quarterback at some point.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So maybe he's a bridge guy.
He might be a bridge guy. He's one of my least favorites of the guys who might be starting.
Okay.
But yeah, bridge guy, and they do run that what is it, the Shanahan system there.
Yep.
So he might do well in that, and he's got JJ and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson to throw to.
Yeah, he does. Lots of weapons.
And Aaron Jones now. So
yeah, and Aaron
he's in a
Jones.
good spot.
Once Aaron Jones got healthy last year, he looked like old Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
I
you
like
got
that move for
right.
Minnesota.
Okay. How about Sam Howell going to the Seahawks?
I love it.
Yeah, me too. I
if they can correct his issues,
yeah.
as far as like fumbling, interceptions, if they can get him to protect the ball better, that dude can throw the football. He was out there winging it for like 350 yards one game.
3,941 yards, I want to say.
Sounds about right.
I mean, he was damn near 4,000 yards, 63% completion.
If he would have been playing for the Chicago Bears, he would have set their all-time quarterback yards record.
Yes, he would have.
No, I like Sam Howell. I think it's a great
I
pickup.
just think it's a great roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a clown who can't hold on to the ball.
If anything, he'll be a good backup.
But it costs him practically nothing to
And
bring him in.
they lost Drew Lock.
And Gino's days are numbered in Seattle.
This
I
is
believe,
last
so.
year if he doesn't win a couple playoff games.
Yeah, and rather than
and he might get hurt.
rather than trading up for rookie QB,
I love
they
it.
Probably have to bring in this guy and see what he can do.
It's a good move. I was hoping the Seahawks might that maybe Bo Nix might fall to him and they'd snag him or Penix. And that second, early third tier of quarterbacks could drop.
Yeah.
We've seen it before.
Yeah. Oh, well, Will Levis dropped to the second round last year,
Yeah.
and they were talking him as top 5 up to a week before the draft.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers was picked 21, I think.
20, it was later than that, yeah. The Bears took Cedric Benson that year.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we had drafted Rex Grossman the year before, and they didn't need a quarterback.
Oh, those were the sad days.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to this, Dork.
How about running backs?
Yeah. I guess my number one would be,
Most people would think I'd say King Henry, my boy.
and I think the best one was Josh Jacobs going to the Packers.
Ooh, okay.
That was the best move.
Out of all of them. Barkley to the Eagles. They always have committees, and so He's going to get his carries. He's Saquon Barkley, or Saquon, as you like to say.
Okay, but they paid him a lot of money.
They did.
So I would think he's going to get the ball a lot.
Oh, he will. But Gainwell and other dudes,
Boston
Boston
still
Scott
there.
maybe, they might draft a young guy. I mean, Barkley's getting up there. And so they need a guy to replace him in a couple years.
He's 27.
Yeah, so he'll be 30 and after 2 seasons.
2 of the last 3 seasons, he's averaged less than 4 yards a carry.
That's not good.
But the offensive line should help. I think they overpaid, though. I don't think he's going to give them much more than Swift gave them last year.
3 years, $37 million.
That's a lot for a running back.
Yeah, so that works out to 3 years, $37 million. They probably should have signed him for 2 years and given him 22.
It might be basically a 2-year deal that
They
they
can probably get out.
of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But I do like King Henry to Baltimore.
okay, King Henry, he should be a workhorse again. I mean, pencil him in for 12,000 or 1,200 yards and at least 10 touchdowns.
With that offensive line, I'm
Yeah.
penciling him in for 1350 and 15.
Okay, could happen. Could happen. He is getting old. That yards per carry is going down.
They run the
but
ball. Gus
they run the
Edwards
ball.
gone.
It's a rushing offense, and they're gonna feed the big guy.
Yeah, if I can snag Henry in the second round of our draft, or if people are afraid of him because of his age and he falls again to the third, I'm grabbing him.
And let me just quit going back to Barkley. I think fantasy-wise, he's a great back.
Yeah,
he's
he
going to
is.
be a great back next year.
Yeah,
because he's in a much better offense than he's ever been in.
he'll get you 5-6 receiving touchdowns.
Yep, he'll get you some rushing touchdowns. He
Yep.
will.
He'll have 100-yard games.
He's one of the top ones.
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
But I think I'd rather have Josh Jacobs.
okay, let's go to Jacobs. He's just had one great year. Out of what, 5?
He played well last year behind a terrible offensive line.
He got going better at the end of the year, but he didn't play. He wasn't.
He's younger than
He
Barkley.
wasn't that good. He's a year younger. I think that was an overpay. I'd have just kept Aaron Jones around.
I wouldn't. It was time for Jones to move on. He's been injury prone the last couple of years. He misses 4, 5, 6 games the last couple of years.
Okay.
They wanted a guy that's bulletproof, and Jacobs, as far as injuries, is.
Okay. Well, that's
Whereas
true
Barkley,
about
you
running
never know.
backs until they aren't. You
True.
know what I mean?
Right.
He could get back to where he was though, and he was.
I bet he was averaging
he
more
was
yards
an awesome back 2 years ago.
I bet last season, in an off season, after he led the league in rushing.
Yeah.
I bet you
he averaged more yards per carry than Barkley.
Last year?
Yeah.
No. Barkley was 3.9. Jacobs, I think, 0.5.
Okay.
But Jacobs did finish strong. I'll give him that. And the Packers just don't do a lot of stupid things. So,
Well, the Packers are a much better team than the Raiders.
yeah. And he is going to get the ball. I think he's back to being a top 10 fantasy
Green
back.
Bay did bring back Dillon, which will cut into some of his carries.
Yeah, but Dillon's going to be just a change-up to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't specifically like the move as part of strategy. I do think he'll be a good fantasy back for a year at least.
Yeah, he will.
Okay, how about DeAndre Swift? 25, signed with the Bears for 3 years.
$24 million.
24 mil.
I don't really like it.
As Chicago Bob's told me, he would have rather they spend 2 or 3 more million and get Barkley.
See, Swift has, and he was on a better
I mean,
team.
he's a good back.
He was on better teams, but he's a much better yards per carry than Barkley the past 2 years.
Right.
He's younger, and he's a good receiver.
Right.
He's going to, fantasy-wise, he's going to a team on the rise that's one of the best, has had one of the best running games in the league.
Yeah, well, I read something today, though, that the counter argument to that is that you've got Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson, who they picked up last year as a
Yeah.
second rounder.
Yeah.
Those boys are going to play too.
He was a fourth rounder, actually.
Fourth rounder. Okay, those boys are going to play too.
They are, but they're paying Swift, so he's going to be the lead back, and I think he's going to do well.
Okay.
I think he'll do okay, but what does well mean? He's a tweener. I could see him getting 950 yards rushing and 375 receiving, three receiving touchdowns, and because they got Johnson, who I think is going to get more play this year, and Herbert, who's good around the goal line, he might only get 5 rushing touchdowns.
That
For
remains to be
fantasy,
seen.
For fantasy, I don't. I'm staying away from him.
Okay, I like him. Okay, let's move along.
No, I mean, if he drops to me in the draft and his value, I'll take him, but I'm not targeting him.
Okay, I
don't know how many
that.
points the Bears are going to score. How many did they score a game last year?
I don't remember.
I bet you it was about 21.
That sounds right, 21 a game.
Yeah, I don't want a guy on a team that's scoring 21 points a game. If I can help it.
Okay.
I'm already
but they
getting
should
into
score
that draft
more.
mode.
They've added another star receiver.
Keenan
So
Allen.
they should be more. You'd think there's going to be an upgrade at quarterback,
True.
and the offensive line is
But the
still young. And,
quarterback's going to be a rookie,
yeah, that's true.
learning his
But
first.
that means they're probably going to be handing off more and more.
True.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't hate it.
okay, let's move along. How about?
No, I got a couple more.
Okay. Oh no, I got him here. Austin Eckler to Washington.
I don't like it.
Washington's rebuilding.
I think he's probably there to be
New
a
coach.
check down for the rookie quarterback.
Sure, but fantasy-wise, I don't like it.
Yeah, me either.
And Washington doesn't score points.
And he was in decline last year.
Yeah, no, I want no part of it.
29.
I want no part of that.
Okay, Devin Singletary. I think he went to the Giants.
The Giants don't like it. Giants
Number one
don't score.
back on a bad offense.
He should have stayed in Texas.
I don't know if that was an option for him.
Probably not, but I don't like it.
I don't like any Giants. I'm not going to draft a Giant
At all?
now that Barkley's gone.
Okay.
Well, who would you draft on the Giants?
Well, it depends on, the round. And
Give me some names, man.
Give you some names. I draft Singletary as a fourth or fifth back.
Yeah, down there, but you never play him.
I would agree with you that I don't see anyone who is obviously the, going to be a guy you target.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would agree with
I want
that.
no part of the Giants.
But I do want to see what they do in the draft.
Okay, who you got next,
Obviously.
Dork?
How about Zach Moss to Cincinnati?
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
High-scoring offense.
He showed out well when he's gotten the
Burrow's
ball.
going to be healthy this year. No, I love that.
I'm going to be targeting Moss, hoping to get him as my number 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to jump up and grab him as my number 2 because I filled out other positions, I'll do it.
And Chase Brown is there. He was a rookie last year.
And he looked good.
Him. Yeah. So he's going to be in the mix. But I think whoever is that Cincinnati lead back is a good fantasy play.
And Cincinnati was smart. They got him 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the type of move teams should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have Moss for 2 years at $8 million than Barkley for what they paid him.
No doubt.
But like I said, fantasy-wise, I think Barkley has improved his stock going to Philly.
Yeah, and Indy wasn't going to bring Moss back, right?
I don't think so, not with Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
They weren't going to pay him to come back.
Well, Jonathan Taylor's healthy, though.
Did I say Zach Taylor?
Yeah.
Did I get the Taylor wrong?
Yeah.
Zach Taylor's like an old linebacker or something, right?
I don't know.
Or is he the Cincinnati? I don't even know. Okay, how
Keep
about
going, Dork.
Joe Mixon
Hate
going
it.
to Houston?
Hate it.
Yeah, I thought I thought, what are they
That's a
thinking?
dumb move. The
It
guy's
just-
on the downside
Yeah.
of his fucking career. You're a young, upcoming team.
Yeah.
Singletary was huge for you last year. Throw that motherfucker $2 million more,
Yeah.
and he's with you still.
Yep.
He's
I
a better
agree.
back.
I agree.
I
I
hate
don't
it.
know what they were thinking. That's the one I dislike the most.
And I like everything the Texans have done, but that one blows me away.
Yeah, in general, they should be a pretty good team again next year. I mean, Stroud's in his second year. He's going to be better. His
Yeah.
receivers are young. And,
Yeah, why get an aging running back?
Yep, that's about it.
I like the Gus Edwards to the Chargers.
Yeah. I mean, Harbaugh's going to want to pound the ball. I
And
bet they draft a running back.
he's
Maybe
going to
that
get a
dude
lot
from
of goal.
Michigan.
He's going to get a lot of goal line.
Yeah. Although, beware the high touchdown backs. Because remember Jamal Williams last year.
Right.
The thought was he was going to repeat what he did in New Orleans.
Right.
And
Well, I had Gus last year, and he was good.
did he even get a touchdown last year? Jamal?
Yeah, he had a couple.
Okay, but, I know Gus had a lot of touchdowns this year. That doesn't mean it's going to carry over.
Well, I think he's going to be on a run-first, high-scoring team.
Yeah. But I think it's also possible.
If I can get him as my fourth, and he'll drop there,
Yeah.
I'll take him.
Oh, I agree. Aaron Jones to Minnesota.
I like it.
I love this one, actually. They got him for a year at $7 million. The only downside is his age.
Yep.
But his getting healthy.
They're going to have a new QB if it's
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, whoever the fuck it's going to be. Jones going to get the rock.
And his getting
1 year deal, they're going to run him into the ground.
his getting healthy is what coincided with Green Bay taking off last year.
No doubt.
And I love this. He's a receiver. He's like Derrick Henry. There's just not a lot to do it.
Except like I mentioned earlier, he's injury prone.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ones before we move to wide receiver?
Some guys who might take over. We already mentioned Chase Brown.
Yeah.
Zamir White of the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders just picked up a running back today.
Just today. Who'd they pick up?
I don't remember, but
I saw that too, but I don't think he's much of a threat.
he's going to take some carries.
He's gonna.
or they wouldn't have picked him up.
Everyone's going to have carries taken.
Sure.
There are very few.
Don't like the Raiders. They don't
pure
score a
workhorse.
lot of points either.
Okay.
And they've got a new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stay away from that team.
Stay away from that. Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of like him.
Raiders are pretty much off my list.
Okay.
Unless Devontae Adams fell to me in the second round or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Hate it.
Ty J. Spears to the Titans. For the record,
Well, that
like
was a
Zamir
re-sign.
White. What's that?
Tajay Spears with the Titans was a re-sign. I thought we were going to do new
No,
teams.
his situation has changed because he might be the number one guy now in Tennessee.
Yeah, but Tennessee made a move on a running back in the last couple of days, too.
Who'd they bring in? Is it on your list there?
No, you can look it up afterwards, but yeah. Look it up
But-
now, Dork.
What do you? I mean,
I'll continue on
What
here.
do you think of him as the as a fantasy guy, Ty J?
I like him.
Okay.
But Tennessee did pick up another running back, free agent, signed him kind of cheap.
Right. They're all cheap. No.
Yeah, they are. Okay, well, you're looking that up, Dork. I'll just cover, see if there's anybody else I want to cover here that we haven't covered. I kind of like Tony Pollard to the Titans, but
Oh, he's with the Titans.
yeah,
Okay, that's the one then.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like that. He's the one I missed.
Yeah. So, sorry, man. I had to look at my notes to figure it out. Yeah, Pollard
Is going to cut into Spears. And the thing about Tajay Spears is that he had an injury in college, and he's got bone on one knee.
Right.
And so
That's why they brought in Tony Pollard. Those guys are going to be in a committee. I want no part of it.
Okay. What do you think? Let's go to Pollard. What do you think of him?
I think
Yeah, that's one I missed. I'm sorry about that.
he's a good all-around back. He's kind of a tweener in our
Mhm.
league scoring. And so he was hyped last year. He was off my list. Too high of a risk. I'm staying away from him again.
Okay.
Any
Well, I
more?
liked him last year, and I think another year away from the injury will be good. It's
It
just
will be.
Tennessee's offensive line ain't great.
It's terrible. It was one of the worst lines in football last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how about want to go to receivers?
Yep.
Okay. Here's one I like a lot. Curtis Samuel going to Buffalo.
I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
Because Curtis Samuel has probably been one of the most hyped guys in the last 4 years, and he's never helped you win a fantasy championship, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
But do you think he's an upgrade on Davis?
He's off my fucking list, my draft list already.
I believe he's had 100.
You like that guy. You draft him every year almost.
I've never drafted him. I
Or you
picked
pick him up
last
off the
year.
waiver wire. Yeah, you like the guy.
He's had over 100 targets for the last 5 years.
Yeah, and he ain't done
And
shit.
he can run the ball sometime.
He's probably wide receiver 40 in our scoring system last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't draft a wide receiver 40.
Not as your fifth or sixth guy.
No, I'd take a risk.
Now that he's in a good offense.
No, I'd take a risk
finally?
on a rookie before I did that.
Okay.
No, I want no part of Samuel.
Okay. Damn. I didn't think there was that much hate in you, dude. Oh wait. No, there is.
I'm just telling it like it is.
No, you're telling it how you see it.
No,
If you knew what it was like, you'd be rich now.
Okay.
If you knew what it is.
I already got.
Don't give me this Rush Limbaugh. Here's the real story, how it is.
I already got.
What's that?
As it gets closer to the start of the season, we're gonna make a little bet on where your boy Samuel's gonna end up in our scoring system at the end of the year.
Okay.
If you're, what would you say right now? If you draft him right now, where would you expect him to maybe end up? 25?
There's a lot to happen until the draft. There's training camp and everything.
Right.
I just think he's a good one to watch.
I
Going
hate
into
him.
that Buffalo offense.
He sucks.
He's always been solid, and now he's in a good offense. And
He's injury
yeah.
prone.
No, he isn't. That's BS.
Okay, can we move on
He's
to some?
played a lot the last four out of the last 5 years.
Can we move on to someone who might contribute to your fantasy football
Jerry
team?
Jeudy.
I like it.
Is he finally going to bust out, you think, and why?
They gave him a shitload of money today.
Okay.
I think it was $34 million, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. As fantasy, where would you put him?
Top 20 maybe.
Really? He's the number 2 guy behind Cooper.
Yeah, but I expect Cleveland to score quite a few points.
You think Deshaun Watson's going to make a comeback?
I think he will.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, if in our league, 8 teams, Watson's not going to get drafted.
Right.
But I might take a dart throw as my backup.
Okay.
Because Cleveland's doing all the right things. The signings points to one of them.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy was in wide receiver hell in Denver. Before Wilson had a good year last year. The year before, it was shit. And
yeah, but Cortland Sutton was there, and he's had some good years.
true, but for some reason, Wilson preferred Sutton, and that's why Judy's out.
Maybe because Sutton was open.
I think change of scenery will help.
I can see that. I mean, he's kind of been a guy on the cusp. He's only 25 this year.
Yeah, he's young.
So a bust out isn't out of the question.
Yeah.
But it just seems we're waiting forever on a lot of these guys. And if he was, in a place where he's number 1, I'd say, yeah, great. But
Okay.
otherwise, his ranking hasn't changed for me, put it that way.
All right.
Okay, how about Hollywood Brown going to KC?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I do too.
I would love to have him as like my number 3.
Number 3? Yeah,
But
I can see
if I
that.
go running back heavy and he ends up being my number 2, I might have to settle for that.
Yeah. I guess what would worry me about him is Kelsey's going to be the number 1 target.
He's declining.
And probably Rashee Rice is number 2 now, wouldn't you say?
Well, wide receiver wise, Rice
Yeah.
is number 1.
Right, he's number 1. But as far as who's going to get the targets?
Don't care. Plenty to go around.
Okay. So you like Hollywood Brown as a number 2 or 3?
I do. Since the time he got drafted in Baltimore, he has not lived up to expectations. He goes to Arizona for 2 years. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Kyler Murray injury sets him back, stuff like
Yeah.
that. I'm afraid he's a one-trick pony, but you can be that on the Chiefs
Yeah.
and be successful
Okay.
for fantasy.
Okay.
So I like it.
I agree. I could see him ranking around a third wide receiver in our 8-team league.
Sure.
In deeper leagues, he
Sure.
could be good.
And
I
he'll have boom games and bust games.
Yeah.
So you hope to try to plug him in based on matchup.
Am I right thinking he might have a stint in Kansas City like Sammy Watkins did, where other than a few boom games a year, he was kind of invisible?
Well, it could be, but he's on a 1 year.
He's 1 year 11, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year, $7 million, and so this is a 1 year tryout year for the dude.
Okay.
Because he has not lived up to the hype when he was coming out of college.
It was a first-round draft pick, yeah.
Yeah. So
Twice, 2 teams gave up a first-rounder for
yeah,
him.
if he can't do it in KC on this 1 year gig, he's going to be out of the league in 2 or 3 years.
Okay. How about Keenan Allen to the Bears?
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think in PPR,
How can you
he'll
not
be
like
pretty
Keenan
good.
Allen?
Yeah.
He's one of the best he's a top 10 wide receiver.
I don't know about that because
Depending on how much you throw, he's going to get you 110, 120 receptions every
Yeah.
year.
Yep.
And
It's
7
actually
touchdowns.
More a 1A probably to DJ Moore, but
Sure. They'll make a nice combo.
Yeah.
Allen's more of a possession guy. You use more on the deep shots.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Good move by the Bears.
Good move by the Bears. I agree. And in our league, it's league dependent because he's not a big touchdown guy. But
He had
if
7
you're in
last
PPR,
year.
he's money.
He had 7 last year, missed two games, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Deontay Johnson going to Carolina.
You know I hate Deontay Johnson.
Why do you hate him? He's
Just
a perfectly servable receiver. He gets open, he
he's
catches the ball.
he's burned me in fantasy. I'll never draft him again. And going to the Panthers, who
man.
are the worst team in the fucking league, it's not good for fantasy to be on Deontay Johnson next year.
Well, they've improved their offensive line.
Bryce Young's
They got a
could be a bust.
offensive-minded coach, but Bryce could be a bust. But
I hate it.
we'll
I want
see.
no part of him.
You want no part of it at all.
He's off my draft list.
What would it take for him to be available and you to draft him?
Oh,
Would you take him as 5?
I would take him off the waiver wire week 5 when I'm hurting.
Okay.
That's
You're not
it.
going to draft him.
No,
Absolutely
he's
not.
off my
Okay.
list. That's what that means, Dork.
Okay.
Hate him.
All right. I think he's a great pickup for Carolina. I would put him in with Hollywood Brown around wide receiver, the 3.
No, I'd take Brown
3 or
over
4
him in a
range.
heartbeat.
Who else you got?
Gabe Davis going to Jacksonville.
I don't like it because Gabe Davis has burned me 3 years in a row.
You got to stop making this personal, dude.
Oh, it's not personal.
That's very undude of you.
At a certain point, you realize that if you keep drafting a guy on your team and he keeps burning you every year, at some point you have to give up on him.
How many times did Deontay Johnson burn you? Or did he?
We're not going back to Deontay.
Okay.
No, I want no part of it.
Gabe Davis, he's boom or bust, and more times than not, he's bust. You can't rely on him on a weekly basis. I've owned him 3 years in a row, Dork.
Okay.
So I'm an authority on his fantasy value, and it sucks.
Okay.
Don't get me fired up here, man.
Oh, that's what I do. Okay, next, well, for the record, I'm kind of meh on the whole move.
Okay.
I think it'll be the same Gabe Davis we've seen, where if you play him the right week, he'll be great.
Yeah, but you
over
can't
the course
do
of
that.
the year,
You can't play him every week, and so
right.
I want guys I can play every week.
Okay, one more. Kelvin Ridley to Tennessee.
Hate it.
Yeah, I'm not wild about it.
Tennessee doesn't pass the ball.
It's another bad offense. He's likely to be the number 2 receiver.
Levis, second-year guy.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not going to be targeting him.
Okay. What else you got? You got any others you want to mention?
Let's see here. Most of them are pretty insignificant. I'm curious to see where Tyler Boyd goes.
Is he going to go somewhere? Is he going to be
Well,
traded?
he's a free agent.
Okay. Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm curious.
Man, why hasn't he been snapped up yet?
Who knows?
He's not on.
There's been a rumor that Seattle was kind of interested in
Okay.
him.
Of course, OBJ's still out there. He might have a good year left in him, depending on where he ends up.
How about Michael Thomas?
Oh no,
It's been.
he's
a few
been
years
off my
since
draft
he's been
list for
relevant.
2 or 3 years. Anybody else? Maybe? No, not really. That's it for me.
Okay. Do you want to talk about anything about teams you like?
Well, first of all, I do have some tight ends that I think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Talk to me.
I like Colby Parkinson to the Rams. He signed 3 years, $22.5 million.
Okay, I get that.
Gerald Everett, who's never been good for fantasy and is damn near washed up, got picked up by the Bears for some dumbass reason. They got Cole Kmet. They could draft a young tight end in round 5 and they pick up Everett. I thought that was fucking dumb. But I like Colby Parkinson with the Rams because the Rams are going to score 29 points a game.
Yeah.
I like he got re-signed, but I like Noah Fant now with the Seahawks. If ever we got a new regime, I think they're going to use the tight end more. They got Fant last year in the Russell Wilson trade.
Mm-hmm.
Disley left.
Okay.
He's the guy.
Yeah, Parkinson's out.
Yeah. So he's the guy. I like Noah Fant.
I would be targeting him as my number 2 tight end and hope that he goes off.
Maybe, but the tight end position got well last year. There's a lot of good tight ends out there.
And there's going to be a few coming out of college, like the Bowers kid.
Brock Bowers, yeah.
Okay, and then so that's all I had, tight end.
Okay.
Do you want to do the Chicago Bob report?
Why don't we? Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, you're watching and listening to Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude.
Where'd my hat go? Did it fall off?
I don't know, Dork. Figure it out, man.
It's over here.
Okay. As you know, our Chicago Bear correspondent is Chicago Bob, and he periodically gives us reports over the course of the season and, of course, during the off season. And so, post-free agent, here is Chicago Bob's report for the Chicago Bears. And then I'd like your impression there, Dork, because he is your brother.
Yeah.
And you're the total optimist, and he's the total pessimist.
As I told, spoiler alert, he gave the Bears a C+ grade.
He did.
And my comment to him was, that's your highest rating. So,
And so what would you have given them on what they've done so far?
I like
A
it.
B?
At least, yeah.
Okay.
It took guts to move on from Fields.
Well, it didn't take any guts. It was a no-brainer. That's why they only got a 6th rounder in 2025.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, there
You got the number
would
one
have been
pick.
a lot of pressure to hold on to the pick, or trade for a haul.
Yeah, apparently they didn't think twice.
Apparently not. And it's all going to be on Caleb, but
It will be.
I like getting Keenan Allen. I actually
yeah.
like getting Gerald Everett because he's a useful piece.
Yeah.
And
So is Komet out of the picture?
Oh no.
Okay.
He'll be the backup. Hopefully better than Robert Tonyan.
Oh, you think Everett will start?
No.
Oh.
No, Everett will be the backup. Komet's a solid starter.
Okay.
But I also like they signed a lot of mediocre offensive linemen.
Right.
They're mostly young guys, but they added a lot of depth there.
Good. Okay. Well,
Should we get to Chicago, Bob, and then you can comment
Okay.
further?
Yeah.
okay.
This is the free agency report of Chicago Bob on the Chicago Bears and the moves that they made. Thanks, Chicago Bob. We appreciate all of the input you get as one of our correspondents. Don't we, Dork?
We do.
Okay. The Bears have had a busy offseason so far with free agent signings and trades. Some good moves and some ho-hum moves. Before I share my comments on those, let's get rid of the elephant in the room, which is the trade that sent Justin Fields to the Steelers for a 2025 sixth-round pick. Maybe Bears fans should refer to them as the Steelers, as in stealing.
Yeah, I got it, dude.
From now on, I thought it was a steal, too, on the Steelers' part, but we talked about that. I was ready for them to move on from Fields at the end of the season, but I really felt the Bears could improve the team more by trading the first pick in the draft for a haul rather than take the next franchise savior, which appears to be quarterback Caleb Williams. The fans and media that have been banging the drum so loudly for Williams are overestimating the talent level on the roster. Oh well, so much for building through the draft. Let's get on with the analysis of what they've done so far. Let's see, we need something for that here, Dork. Thank you, Bob. Nice intro. The big additions are free agents running back DeAndre Swift, tight end Gerald Everett, and wide receiver Keenan Allen, who was acquired from the Chargers for a fourth-round pick. Thought that was pretty good value for you guys. All three are good additions and will help the new quarterback. Less inspiring is the collection of offensive linemen they brought in. Jake Curhan and Matt Pryor are both journeymen who figure to be depth pieces at guard and tackle. Center Coleman Shelton, formerly of the Rams, figures to start at center and will probably get competition from guard center Ryan Bates, who they acquired for a fifth-round pick from Buffalo. Wide receiver Dante Pettis returns to the Bears as a likely return man, and quarterback Brett Rippon was signed also. The defense. The biggest signing on defense was the Bears signing their own cornerback, Jalen Johnson. Free agent safety Kevin Byard was signed to replace the departed Eddie Jackson and will start opposite Jawan Brisker. The defensive backfield once again looks like their strongest position group. Linebacker Amen Obaga. You pronounce it for me there, Dork.
Amen O.
Amen O. And safety Jonathan Owens were signed for depth in their special teams ability.
You know that Jonathan Owens is Simone Biles' husband.
Is who?
Simone Biles.
Never heard.
Greatest gymnast ever.
Never heard of him.
Okay. Where was I before I went off on the gymnast thing here? The Bears also picked up a pair of defensive ends, the very uninteresting Jack Martin and the equally unimpressive Byron Cowart.
Throwing some shade there at Cowart and...
You're gonna get your chance, Dork.
The draft. There's just no debating what to do now, and that's take a quarterback at number 1. They have another pick in the top 10 at number 9. They could trade down here for more draft capital, but it would be hard to pass on getting 2 top 10 picks at this point. My guess is that it will be Caleb at 1 and Rome Odunze at 9. They could also take an edge or offensive tackle at 9, depending on who they like. After that, they only have 2 more picks at number 75 and number 122 overall. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He gave him a grade of C+. The Bears did a nice job of improving their roster from bottom up, but they still have some glaring weaknesses on both the offensive and defensive lines, notably at center and defensive end. The future is getting brighter, but they still have a long way to go before they can catch Detroit and Green Bay. Chicago Bob.
Okay, then.
All right, Bob. Thanks, man. That was
Thank you, Bob.
frickin' awesome.
See, I just want to point out, Bob does what a lot of analysts do.
Uh-oh, I hit the...
Dude, keep it together over there.
Bob, I don't know what it is, but you brought on your boy from Johnny Quest.
He always was a big Johnny Quest.
Yeah, the voodoo guy from Johnny Quest came on. This was Bob.
And he's not leaving.
When you finished talking, he just came on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, The offensive line signings were depth signings.
Okay.
We're not
Can't you
expecting
get
them to
that in the
be
draft?
the
Oh,
second.
no, you have no picks.
We have no picks. So, they via cheap, mediocre guys who
Okay.
can fill in.
I can see that.
And a lot of times you need camp bodies.
Sure.
Just to, play. So
Sure.
we don't need to criticize every signing because it's not
Well,
the
but
second coming of Sid Luckman,
yeah, but you still have to come towards Bob a little bit because he would say, you think every signing's great and it's all hunky dory and
No, they definitely need another edge.
last year you thought they were going to win 10 games.
I did, and they could have, but things didn't go their way.
Okay.
But I do think they need another edge, but I believe it's going to be a top 10 defense. I believe
The defense was improving at the end of last year big time.
Assuming Caleb is the guy.
He's the guy.
They have set him up for success with what they put there.
They have.
So, we'll see how it goes. I feel good about him going in.
You think maybe 10 wins this year again?
Yes.
Okay.
But we shall see.
I kind of figured you'd say that. I'm curious to see what Chicago Bob, as we get closer to the season, has to say.
Yeah.
I would predict Bob would say maybe 8-9 wins, best case scenario.
I think that's what he's saying, yeah.
Oh, is that what he is saying?
I think that's basically, if you read
Yeah.
it in there, he
I
says
got
they're not going to catch Detroit or Green Bay. So,
True. They'll finish third, probably be lucky to be 500.
okay.
What else you got, Dork?
Well, did you want to get, I wanted to talk about, are we done with NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you got your college basketball
I wanted
bracket.
to talk about the tournament a little,
Perfect.
if you don't mind. Okay, first of all, let me give you some sleep.
Okay, well, you're back with Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude.
This is the first time we've taken a break on YouTube, and we're very curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, because we're both technologically bumbling fools.
We're boomers, What can we say? Okay, March Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, here are
Now, one thing, Dork. You fill out a bracket every year.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
Good God, I don't know how long I've been
30
filling out
years?
the brackets. At least since the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're into this.
I'm way into it.
How have you done lately? Say last 5-10 years.
I had a good year last year. I had picked
Okay.
Florida Atlantic. It's all hit and miss, though.
No doubt.
I mean, I understand each game, it's close to a coin toss.
Sure.
In all but maybe 8 of them, and that's the 1s and 2s against lower seeds.
But even some of them lose occasionally.
Yeah, they're losing more and more lately now.
I like that.
I do too. It's always a great 2 weeks of sports.
Okay, so here is the Dork with his picks for the college. It starts tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, the playing games start tonight.
Do you have picks for that?
Not really. No,
You don't have anyone you like?
I didn't bring my bracket. I
Okay.
do, but all brackets they count the 2 teams as one.
Right.
You say you get the winner of this one if you want to pick them to go to the next round.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's some early round upsets I like. Auburn. I think they might knock off Connecticut, the top overall seed in round 2, or I should say the favorite. They're just the kind of feisty veteran bunch that could do that. I like Michigan State over North Carolina in round 2. Michigan State, I have this theory that the team that gets the most shit for being in there undeservedly,
Right.
that they always do pretty well. And that's Michigan State this year.
Well, you've got them going around 2. That's pretty well.
I got them going to the Sweet 16.
Okay.
So for the seed they are, that's pretty good.
Okay.
And in another round 2-1, I like TCU to beat Purdue at 1 seed. More sleepers. These are deeper sleepers. James Madison. I think they'll get to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
New Mexico, I think they'll get to the Elite Eight.
They usually have good teams, New Mexico.
Yeah, and they're good this year too. First round upsets, Samford over Kansas. My logic there is that I hate Kansas. And Morehead State over Illinois. Potential Final Four sleepers. St. Mary's, they're a 5th seed, and McNeese State, an 11th seed. And with them, it's more about, if you look at their bracket, that's an anyone could win bracket.
Okay.
Because like I said, I got Purdue losing early.
But, I mean, you got McNeese State going where?
To the Final Four.
We can't bet on college basketball in Oregon.
We can't.
But if you could, what would the odds of that be right now?
It'd be pretty high.
50-1?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And here's my Final Four. I like Iowa State, Arizona, Houston, and McNeese State. And as champion this year, I like Houston. And let me give
Are
you...
they one of the favorites?
Houston and Connecticut, Purdue, and North Carolina are the number 1 seeds.
Okay.
And now let me give you my women's Final Four.
There you
'cause
go.
I guess more people will be watching that. It's Connecticut, West Virginia, Texas, and South Carolina. And South Carolina's the champ. Also, sleepers to bet on early: Florida Gulf Coast, Green Bay, Marshall, Middle Tennessee, and I don't think they're going to win, but I think it's a good bet to bet on Norfolk State to beat Stanford. They're a 15 over 2,
All right.
and that's it.
Hey, what about our Oregon Ducks, man?
I got them going to the Sweet 16.
Nice.
I think they'll pull the upset in round 1.
Who are they playing?
Is it Creighton?
No, I don't think so. I heard who they were playing today, but
It's a team that's ripe for upset. That
okay.
has all the characteristics of a team that's going to get upset.
No one expected.
Oh, it's Clemson.
Clemson, yeah.
Clemson, and then
I think the Ducks are 11 and they're a 5 seed.
They're an 11 seed.
Yeah. The Ducks are 11 seed and Clemson's a 5 seed or something.
6, I
6.
think.
Okay.
Or maybe it's a 5 and a 12 or a 7
Something
and a
like
10.
that.
It's something like that.
So you're picking the Ducks to upset them.
I think the Ducks upset them, and then I think the Ducks upset 3 seed Baylor in the next round.
Oh, I don't know, man. Them
Okay.
Texas teams are tough.
Yeah, the Ducks are getting healthy and looking good, though.
Okay. Well, I'd like it. I'd love to see the Ducks go to the Final Four.
I'd love it.
Go Ducks!
Yeah. Okay.
I got some
want to
stuff
talk
for you,
golf?
Dorkster. First of all, Major League Baseball's wrapping up their spring training, and I've been watching a little bit of spring training, Dork. And
Yes, you have.
you know what I think I'm going to do this year? I'm going to watch more baseball.
Okay.
It's so relaxing. It's
So
almost
American.
therapeutic.
Yeah.
And I want to get to know the players better, and I'm going to start betting it a little bit.
Okay.
And so I
Let
will.
me know how that goes.
Oh, I will on our podcast. You'll find out if it goes anything like my football and horse racing and my craps play. I'm going to
Your
be
golf?
okay.
You're going to be good.
My
yeah.
golf, I'm going to be okay. But anyway,
Does Teddy Covers do baseball too?
Teddy Covers does everything.
Right on. Love the guy.
He probably would give you a spread on a fucking bullfight in Guadalajara.
Give me an over-under on my bowling score.
100.
Yeah, take the under.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know much about Major League Baseball, but I am going to try to watch it more and learn more about it this year. But basically what I do is I get on the internet and I just scan some of the, betting gurus.
Yeah.
And it's usually you just do a Yahoo search that says World Series winner long shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it makes sense to me, I bet it. And I don't bet much. A lot of these I bet maybe $5-10 a pop.
That's my MO as well.
Yeah, so anyway, I've got the Detroit Tigers to win the World Series at 60-1. I've got the San Francisco Giants. They're my team. 55-1. I got the Tampa Bay Rays 35-1, and I have the Miami Marlins 70-1.
Like the Marlins bet.
Do you?
Yeah.
Get down on that. I think they're still, you can probably get them 70, 60-1.
I gotta find it here, but I got some baseball stuff too.
Cool.
Okay.
You're watching Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude. And by the way, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's right. It's a fun. It can be a fun thing, but don't let it ruin you.
That's it.
Okay, I got 2 theories on betting on long shots
Okay.
in baseball.
All right.
The first one, bet on the team that just got rid of a superstar.
Okay.
Maybe the rest of them will pull together.
Sure.
And that's the Angels at 170-1.
Wow.
The other one is,
But besides losing Ohtani, what's their team like? What's the
well,
composition?
they still have Mike Trout.
Sure.
They are in the AL West, which has Houston, Texas, and Seattle.
Right.
3 good teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are up against it, but it's 170-1. But
You can't beat that. Throw $5.
Heck yeah. That leads me to my next theory, and that's look for weak divisions.
Sure.
Where, like I just mentioned the AL West. In the NL West, you got the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants.
Right.
Those are all pretty good teams. And Arizona, the other team, made the World Series last year.
You can get Arizona right now 35-1.
Exactly, because they're in a tough division.
I almost bet them. I might still.
But anyways, I look for the weak divisions and bet the longest shot. And that gives me, coincidentally, my favorite team,
The White Sox.
the White Sox at 300-1.
Wow.
And in baseball...
How much to win the division?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked. But in baseball, if you get in the playoffs, a hot pitcher can take you to the series.
Sure.
So, and then the others, the Milwaukee Brewers at 90-1.
I was looking at the Brewers. One of these guys in an article mentioned the Brewers. In fact, last year, I almost bet the Brewers because someone said they're a long shot. I'm getting on the Brewers.
Jump on it, man.
Cool.
Okay. Now
All
we
right.
got Masters to talk about.
Well, first, how many games left in the NBA, Dork? Season.
Late March,
Season.
so about 3 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I'm going to say about 12 to 15 games for each team left.
Okay. So there's 12 to 15 games left in the NBA. Before the season started, I asked the Dork to give me like 3 or 4 teams that long shots that he liked, and he gave me, I think 3.
Yeah.
I think it was the Spurs.
Yeah.
And Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
How have they done? Orlando's going to be in the playoffs, right?
Orlando's in the mix, but I don't think anyone's beating Boston in the East.
Okay. And the other one he gave me was the OKC Thunder.
You're welcome.
Thunder. 100-1, baby. And probably about 3 weeks ago, maybe, I also threw another bet down on the Thunder to win the Western Conference at 9-1. They're currently leading by a half game.
Yeah, and that's a good move. I mean, they got some good teams in the West, but anyone can win, and people expect Denver to win it. I'm sure they're the favorite.
And Denver's in
They're
second.
the defending champ. They have the best
I
player.
just want them to squeak out the division win.
Oh, the division?
Yeah, 9-1. Conference 9-1.
They could do it. And they've been very good. It's like they rebuilt, and it's coming together after 4 years.
Yeah, so the Thunder, I'm going to be riding them boys in the playoffs, and then I have some golf picks for the Masters. I'm going to be out of town, and we won't be podcasting while the Masters is going, but it starts April 11th,
Mm-hmm.
and I've already bet 2 guys as long shots to get in there. First one is Brian Harmon. He's kind of a younger guy, but
You won't be intimidated by the grandeur of Augusta?
I'm thinking not, because he played this last week at the Players Championship, finished second to
Nice.
Scotty Scheffler, probably the best golfer in the world right now. And if he would have sunk a putt for a birdie on the 18th hole, he would have went into a playoff.
Mm.
So I got him at 65 to 1.
Okay.
I had him at 60 to 1 last week to win that tournament, and he finished one stroke out. And then the other one is my boy from Japan, Hideki Matsuyama, 35 to 1. Now I bet him at 35 to 1 about 2 or 3 weeks ago when he won a tournament. He's down now to about 25. But I like Brian Harman and Hideki Matsuyama in the Masters at this point.
I expect Hideki to go Godzilla on the Masters course.
Well, Hideki's an interesting guy. Apparently he flies coach everywhere.
Really?
So people bump into him in airports and on the plane and stuff, and golf nuts recognize him. And
Okay.
he's just a regular dude. And he's won a major championship already. And I really like him in the Masters this
Go
year.
Hideki.
He had an injury last year and didn't play up to what he had done before that.
Mm.
He's over the injury, playing at the top of his game. And so, anyway, there we go.
Right on. I think that's all we have for you.
Yep. We will be back right before the draft on April 19th will be our next pod.
April 19th?
I think so.
Okay. Or around thereabouts.
It's before the draft, and we'll give you our little mocks.
We'll give you our top prospects at each position, maybe do a mock. We'll have it all broken down here for you.
Yeah, if anything, we'll break down teams that we like you, the Bears, me, the 49ers, and what they're going to do in the draft. And
Seahawks.
it'll be awesome. And in fact, we haven't talked about it yet, but we might do like we did last year and go live draft night. Dork.
We might, Rabbit. We might.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here we go. We'll see you in about 3 weeks. All right, George.
Happy equinox, everyone.
Oh, yeah. The days are getting longer, baby.